continue against the Jews. And it was Hitler and the Nazis who took European anti-Semitism once again to the Muslim world in the Middle East and North Africa. There, they sought to recruit local Muslims to join them against their common enemies, the British, the French, and once again, the Jews.
And they came in strength. They moved into Syria and Lebanon, and became very active politically. They translated a lot of literature into Arabic. They promoted their doctrines. They formed groups. They were very successful. They were even able to extend from Syria into Iraq and to form a Nazi-style regime.
The Nazis formed close ties with one of the most powerful and influential religious leaders in the Middle East, the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, Haj Amin al-Husseini. The Mufti had already led a number of violent campaigns against Jews in the region, aimed at stopping their immigration. The Mufti went on to become one of Hitler's greatest allies and a supporter of the final solution, pledging his loyalty to the Reich on the condition that the Jewish national state in Palestine be liquidated after Hitler won the war.
Slaughter Jews wherever you find them. Their spilled blood pleases God, our history and religion. That will save our honor.
Despite the rapidly growing anti-Jewish sentiments in the Middle East, thousands more Jews, many fleeing persecution in Europe and later the Holocaust, continued moving to Palestine. Some 200,000 Jews emigrated in the 1930s alone. By the end of the Second World War, there were roughly 600,000 Jews in the region, more than 7 times the Jewish population of just 20 years before. Palestine also saw growth in its Arab and Muslim population in response to a growing economy. From 1922 to 1945, the population roughly doubled to more than 1 million. Since shortly after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, Palestine had been under British rule. Britain, who had been entrusted with the region by the League of Nations, had made conflicting promises for the future to both the Zionists and the Arabs. Tensions between the Arab and Jewish communities worsened, resulting in mounting violence and bloodshed. In response, the United Nations intervened by voting in 1947 to partition Palestine into Jewish and Arab states. This intervention enraged the Arabs in the region, who saw the Western powers dividing what they considered to be their land.
A few days after the UN meeting, the Arab League met, formally denounced and rejected this decision, and also announced its own decision to prevent this by force of arms if necessary. They made no secret of their intention. So you had a situation of a Jewish community in Palestine of roughly 650,000, with no regular armed forces, no aircraft and so on, being attacked by 5 regular Arab armies plus the so-called Arab Liberation Army. The United Nations, of course, did nothing whatever to prevent it. Now, the expectation was that this would be a walkover. That famous General Montgomery advised the British Prime Minister that it would be over within hours. He said the Arabs will drive the Jews into the sea.
Fighting between Jews and Arabs began in late 1947, escalating quickly in 1948. The Arab armies, convinced it would be an easy victory, underestimated Israel's capability.